All right. Luke, did you get your intro turned in? You did that the other day, right? Yeah. How far along are you on your project? Yeah. Okay, Armani, how you turned yours in, right? You done? You turned your intro in? Great. What about have you started your project? Okay. Ghana, Mali, or Songhai, right? Okay, it shouldn't take you more than an hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I mean, I already went over a lot of the information. All right, good morning, those of you on Zoom here. We're should have a lot of people because we've only got 3 people in the room. So, yesterday I emailed out the schedule. Hopefully you got that. I was is Maritza on here yet? I got Zariah ready to go. Davion, can you unmute for one moment and tell me how you sent it to me again? I got your paper. I'm looking for your slides though.
I sent it on Google Slides, through Google Slides.
Okay, you shared it with me on my email?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you want me to send it again?
No, if you could just press share one more time. So I'm going through all the messages I have from you, and for some reason it's not popping up. While you're waiting, I just as we're hopefully having more people get in here, just a reminder. Hopefully you turned in your intro for the week, which was only over 4 pages in the textbook, and then you're working diligently on your Google Slides over one of the 3 West African kingdoms. And then there's a submit button on week 15 if you haven't done that yet. Or when you're finished, please do submit that.
It said, sorry, the items were successfully shared, but emails could not be sent to your email.
Oh my, because I got your doc, like the document. I don't have the slides. Can you try to send it to me as a Canvas message?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Layla is not on here, and neither is Maritza. Zariah, have yours queued up. Would you be interested in leading us today, starting off?
Nope.
You don't want to?
No.
Okay, that's fine. And then we had Brooklyn. Have you shared yours with me yet, Garth?
Not yet.
Okay. Thanks for your patience, guys, girls, everyone. I'm sorry. We are working here.
I just shared it with you.
Thank you. All right, Brooklyn, you're going to start us off today, okay?
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and move your slides over here and to our main screen in the room. And then one of the things, I gotta fix the sound on the Zoom here real quick too. For some reason it's playing to can you say good morning real quick, Brooklyn?
Good morning.
Okay. I think you're on the speaker now. I'm gonna share the screen. And Should be ready to go. Can you get Francesca? Can you see this on the screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, perfect. All right, so Brooklyn, go ahead and talk to us.
Okay, this is a project based on the Me Too movement. What is the Me Too movement? The Me Too movement is a movement against sexual abuse and sexual harassment where people publicize allegations of sex crimes committed by powerful and prominent men. Who started this movement? Tarana Burke started the hashtag Me Too. She started it in 2006. Tarana did this to versus sexual assault. But how many people have joined the hashtag Me Too? During the first 24 hours on Facebook, the hashtag Me Too was used on 12 million posts by 4.7 million people. Facebook had reported 45% of users who had a friend that posted using the hashtag Me Too. How many men have been brought down in the hashtag Me Too? On October 23rd, 2018, there is a total of 201 men who have been brought down or caught for sexual harassment or assault. Some of the men were Asia Argento, Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, and Jean-Claude Arnault. Some people that were charged were Mel Watt, Benjamin Sparks, Mario Vitali, and R. Kelly. More than 3 in 1 women and 1 in 3 men experienced verbal sexual harassment. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 6 men were sexually touched in an unwelcome way. Around 4 in 10 women and 1 in 4 men experienced cyber sexual harassment. More than 1 in 3 women and 1 in 10 men were physically followed. Close to 1 in 3 women and 1 in 2 men faced unwanted genital flashing. More than 1 in 4 women and 1 in 4 men survived sexual assault. Verbal sexual harassment is most common as reported by 77% of women and 30% of men. 34% of men. Physically aggressive forms of sexual harassment were reported by 62% of women and 26% of men. Cyber sexual harassment was reported by 41% of women and 22% of men. Sexual assault was reported by an alarming 27% of women and 7% of men. And that's it.
Okay. Did you have a video to go with that, Brooklyn?
One of those links, let me see. One of those links had a video. I think it might be the second one, maybe. Let me see.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's the second one. You just have to scroll down like a little bit. It's the Tarana Burke says Black Lives Matter and Me Too overlap.
Okay. You're looking at the same. You're looking at your project, correct?
Yes, that
Is
one right
it-
there.
Okay.
Scroll down a little more.
Oh, I see.
That one.
There's nothing worse than the feeling walking like feel like there's a target on your back. But I think that if people don't understand that the target that Black women have is on our back, it's on our front. It's you know, like we have these additional layers of target of ways that we can be targeted. These are both movements that are about fighting against injustice. They're both movements that are predicated on undoing systems of oppression. a choice is put forward as to whether they're Black first or women first, and I walk in this body collectively every day. I don't take off my skin, I don't put away my gender in any shape, form, or fashion. And so if we're not talking about race and gender, if we're not talking about racism and sexism, if we're not talking about patriarchy alongside white supremacy, then we're not having full, robust conversations, and we're really not looking at the fullness of Black lives. There is literally nobody who is exempt from experiencing sexual violence, no matter your race, your gender, your identity, nobody. But the response to it does. And so what we're seeing both in Black Lives Matter and in Me Too is our response to the response that we get. Black people are the only ones still properly. But what is the response when a Black person is still properly? Black people are the only ones who commit crimes. But what is the response?
Did you ever think the movement would have taken off the same way without social media and a Hollywood star? And did you ever feel your work was being hijacked?
It's not just social media, it's who brought it to social media and how it was brought to social media, under what circumstances. It's easy for us to say, well, white women hijacked your movement and white women are trying to take up. White women didn't hijack this movement. Those women who got up and came forward on Harvey Weinstein, they had no idea that it was going to spark a global movement. We definitely live in a country where we are socialized to respond to the vulnerability of life. If anybody hijacked the movement, the origin of Me Too is the media. Because the media is going to keep telling the same story. The media is going to keep putting the camera on the white women. They don't know what to do with me. People didn't know who I was, and people still don't know who I am to a lot of people. Because what do you do with a 46-year-old Black woman from the Bronx who's not polished, who looks nothing like even a Black woman in Hollywood? If we live in a world where if a victim of mine didn't say, wait a minute, I didn't start this, this Black woman named Tarana Burke started this, people would not know my name, right? White supremacy says, Black woman, you may have vision, you may have voice, you may have leadership, but I can't see that vision, voice, or accept that leadership until you have a candidate that shows it to me through a white gaze.
All right, Brooklyn. Let's give her a round of applause, please. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and exit this. And stop the share for just a moment and pull up Davion's project. And that worked, Davion. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and pull your screen over here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and share it. All right, Davion, you are on the screen here. Can you see it? Francesca, you're the one I can see on Zoom right now. Can you see child sex trafficking on there?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, thank you.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah.
Okay. So my current event topic was about child sex trafficking. Child trafficking is when one person or a group of people abduct a child and force them into labor in the sex trade. It is one of the most common forms of modern-day slavery. It has affected the world tremendously and it ruins a child's life. How it came about. Child sex trafficking came about by people who live and grew up in poverty, lack of employment and education, natural disaster situations like earthquakes, hurricanes, floods, etc., and lastly, wars. They thought this was a way for them to gain a profitable source of income. It became a talked about issue in the 1900s, even though it should have been brought to people's attention years ago. Current status. The things that have recently changed are that sex traffickers are becoming more aggressive in snatching kids from parents in broad daylight. There are also more resources and hotlines to help victims of child trafficking. I listed a couple, and they are SaveTheChildren.org, HumanTraffickingHotline.org, and OurRescue.org. Coronavirus. COVID-19 pushed victims of child trafficking and exploitation into further isolation. Parents and families have to endure the loss of their children. They have to worry about not knowing where their child is or how he or she is being treated, which is a very hard thing to deal with. The victims of child trafficking suffer from mental trauma, emotional effects, lack of education, separation from family, and not being able to have a normal childhood. You can go to the next slide.
Yeah, sometimes my mouse goes dead. Okay.
How it changed? I would say that it's not going to change until the COVID-19 pandemic settles down. So after COVID subsides, we need to spread the word, educate children and adults, provide more helpline resources, and we should support the organization Operation Underground Railroad, which I'll be talking about in the next slide. So let me tell you a little about Tim Ballard. So Tim is the founder and CEO of Operation Underground Railroad, and he organizes activities on the national and international level to stop child trafficking. Operation Underground Railroad is a nonprofit founded by Tim Ballard and Mark Stott, which assists governments around the world in the rescue of child trafficking victims. This YouTube video is about Tim Ballard being interviewed by the Jordan Harbinger Show, and their topic is on fighting child trafficking. The video is like 1 hour and 19 minutes long. I watched the whole thing, and I chose like three parts that I thought were important, and they all add up to 3 minutes.
I'm just writing these down real quick so that I can forward through them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and click the hyperlink.
Today on the show, Timothy Ballard. As a Homeland Security agent, he was rescuing children who were the victims of kidnapping and human trafficking. On one mission, he went overseas to rescue another kid who had been kidnapped and trafficked, and what he found was horrifying.
What happens, and especially in developing countries like Haiti, after that earthquake in 2010 or after the hurricanes that go through, it's harvest time for the traffickers. I mean, that earthquake killed about 250,000 people instantly, but what the media didn't talk about was the 500,000 or more orphans that were made instantly. And these kids are walking the streets, blood, sweat, just terror, horror everywhere. And the traffickers come into the country, posing as aid workers, posing as orphanages. They throw orphanage signs over the side of a wall. And now innocent people are shepherding these children into what they think is right.
They're costing people's goodwill. And
Exactly.
So that was Tim was basically stating that natural disasters happen in countries, and that's when traffickers come out to attack. And the next one, he talks about what our first step should be to stop child trafficking.
I go back again, I love history. And I go to history. How did slavery in its legalized form end in the 19th century? How did it end? did Abraham Lincoln just raise his hand one day and say, after 400 years of the transatlantic slave trade, I'm going to end this? No. I love him. He did what he could do. He did the right thing when he could do it, given the circumstances. But what happened was the people got loud. The abolitionist movement in the 19th century, you know, again, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Harry Beecher Stowe, who wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin, after stumbling upon slavery and saying, what is going on? Lincoln even admitted, he said, you know, he met Harry Beecher Stowe for the first time in the White House during the war. He said, so you're the lady that wrote the book that started this war. Even he recognized that people got so loud that the government had to move. The government had to act. And that's the piece we're missing right now. The model's been proven, but we have to get every country clamoring for that, asking for that, screaming for that solution, and then the resources will be put in place. And that's why I get frustrated. Like, look what's happening right now. Like, I'm not going to get into the argument.
One more then, Davion. Yeah.
Yeah, the last one, he talks about a little girl that was a victim of child sex trafficking.
Is it graphic?
No,
Davion?
it just has the word rape
Okay.
in it.
We helped rescue a little girl who was smuggled in from Mexico. She smuggled in through a barrier-less part, through the desert, taken to New York City, between the ages of 12 and 17 years old. In New York City, this was just in the last 8 years, she was raped over 60,000 times.
I can't even wrap my head around that number.
They take this girl in New York City. She's now testifying against her traffickers. She's got them all locked up, and Homeland Security investigations. My former agency is working awesome on that case. But what happens is they bring them here, and they just have these clients lined up, and they put her in a car in the morning, and they drive her to this house, this hotel, this bar, and she's raped. I mean, easily 15, 20 times within a 24-hour.
Oof. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. It was hard to watch the whole video.
That is. I didn't realize some of that. Sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and exit this video and then go back to your show here, slideshow. You want to walk us through your discussion questions here quickly?
Yeah, so my questions are, how does child sex trafficking make you feel, and would you be interested in supporting Operation Underground Railroad or any other organizations that prevent child sex trafficking? And can you think of anything else that could help prevent child trafficking? And lastly, in your opinion, what do you think will happen in the future with child sex trafficking?
Those of you on the Zoom here, like I said, we're going to stay with the tradition where I'll give you participation points for answering one of the 3 questions in the chat function. All right. And again, you can keep it private. I'm not going to have your answers won't be on the screen. We're going to take about 90 seconds here in class to have a quick discussion. There's only a couple of us here. Okay. Let's go ahead and give Davion a round of applause. That's a lot of research there. that have responded here. That was eye-opening, obviously. Okay, thank you. And then I'm still trying to see if Layla Sheard is on here. I don't see her. And Chris Gill. Chris was on here. I don't see Chris on here now. That would mean Zariah, you are up, okay? Okay, Francesca, can you see locust swarm in East Africa
Yeah,
on the screen? Okay. Zariah, are you ready to go here?
Not really, but yeah.
Okay, you can do it.
Okay. Locust swarm in East Africa.
All right.
A locust is an insect that eats crops and swarms. Locusts have appeared in December of 2019 around Kenya, and there's still no way to stop them just yet. They arrived in East Africa because of climate change. It's kind of like how hummingbirds fly to Central America in the winter. Locusts migrate to a warm climate. The locust swarm has not been this big of a deal in 70 years. They have always
Eat crops or planted by human impacts. Zariah, I think you might be lagging out on us here.
Sorry.
It's okay. Can you start at the bullet point where they eat crops?
Yeah.
Okay.
They eat crops that are planted by humans and packs, which is threatening the food supply when the COVID pandemic already is. A swarm of locusts eat as much food as humans do per day, so just imagine how many crops will disappear. Experts are still trying to find out a way to get rid of locusts, even if it means eating them whenever you find one. The second wave of locusts came in April. They are now preparing for yet another swarm of locusts soon to come, and it will be twice as big as the first two.
Huh.
They have thought of using pesticide to try and control or decrease the amount of locusts, but they are afraid that it will raise environmental issues into the soil that farmers use, or using a more eco-friendly method, which would be to catch and simply eat them. They are constantly eating locusts. If they are already been sprayed with pesticide, then that could possibly mess with your health. This could definitely affect farming in the future if we don't act on it immediately. It'll make farming so much more harder, which means fewer nutrients because of fewer crops.
Already we are living in a complicated life, but now locusts and COVID-19, they are now being COVID. Our priority as pastoralists is our livestock. And when there is no pasture, there is conflict. I'm just feeling, I grew up as a pastor of God, a victim of conflict, which has led me to be a peace leader today. Pastoral communities normally experience several types of conflicts in the region, livestock theft or waste, and also resource-based conflicts. There are a lot of things that people are now worried about.
Nimemaliza mfugo yangu na nimemaliza tena ile shamba nililima. So ninabaga na mtene. So ninarudi kaja yangu. Hapo yangu ndio mambo. Ile sina duka kununua na mbuzi, atajua nikate makaa. Ndio kupata hii makaa. Hiyo baadaye ndo nafanya. Kila mahali nimefungwa. So mimi nataka tu makaa. Nasimamisha tu hapa kwa barabara. Hii makaa yanapita barabara, anakuja ananunua. Hivi kama ingekuwa hakuna corona, ingeingia kutafuta msaada. Hakuna mahali ya kuingilia saa hii. Imefungwa yote. So iko shida. Iko shida saa hii.
It's crazy.
Look, there's a new one here. You are looking for the canopies of the trees, the differences. When they are mature, they are yellow. So, and then we are able to estimate the size, and then we can be able to ask the spray craft to come and treat the area. They move fast, they go very fast. And by the time you receive one information here, they are moved to a very different site. They eat their weight daily. You want to really suppress the population before they can start laying the egg. It's still work in progress. Every effort is good.
For them as community, when it came here, how they dealt with the local invasion, as a community, they all wake up and they were just creating noise, and facing the locals. That's the only locals they had. But because these locals don't know what it's doing, it's much better let the government spray, but let them be conscious of the kind of chemicals they're spraying.
Hai ng'ombe anapoa na mfugo. Mbuzi anapoa na mfugo. Na kwa ndani hivi ndio tunachukua tunaona kama kwamba sasa hii mali ilikuwa na hiyo shida kufikia hiyo sasa ni sahihi. Hata hii mali ilikuwa na hiyo shida kabisa. Hakuna mali ile atakula. Mwezi ile tunaye duniani kama haitaisha, kama roho zinazokufa yote kama itakufa sina kuongezeka. Lakini kama imekufa sina bwana.
Zariah, can you walk us through your questions real quick?
Yeah, what would you do if you heard that there has been a locust swarm spotted in the U.S.? Did you know anything about the locust swarm? How do you feel about Africa having to deal with the locust swarm and COVID-19?
This is one of the 7, what do they call them, plagues in the Bible? When the Israelites are in Egypt. It was a locust. That's a weird connection. All right, class, It's 7:57. We've got, 12 minutes in this class technically left. If you could just respond to one of these 3 questions. Let's give Zariah a round of applause. That was, totally different than the first 2 presentations, obviously. Also super interesting. Everyone who presented, thank you. And I can't believe we only have 18 people represented in this class of 28 or 30. I want to make sure everyone on here, thank you for being on here, but also continue to care about your education. This is a big deal. And really proud of everyone who has presented so far. Just the fact that we're talking about difficult topics and becoming more educated on things that are going on in our world. And so I'm very, like I said, proud moment as a teacher, but also want to make sure you continue to stay involved and active in all of your classes. And when we go virtual next week, continue to participate on Zoom and just be present as possible. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful Friday and a good weekend as well. Stay safe.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Oh, Zariah, a round of applause too. Awesome. Oh, do we do that? Yeah, sorry. Don't want to skip that. Good job.